What's going on, everybody? Welcome to our Coach GM show. I think Omar might be having a little bit of difficulty, but we got our Coach GM show right now. Let's bring in Jerry, Arizona Raider Nation. Let's go. What's
Good morning. What's up?
Good morning, man. Shoot, man, we finally know it's not a mystery no more. It is what it is. There were some roller coaster rides going on there, and
Man.
we got to the end. I'll let you go first. What do you think?
Hey, round one, man. I did, I, I didn't sleep very well. As we had that badass 4 hour show, and I went to sleep feeling some type of way. Definitely.
Okay.
Um, but one of the many great perks about this show and us being couch GMs, one of the many good perks is we get to change our mind.
Yeah,
So,
definitely.
after, seeing everything put together and the reasoning and hearing Telesco speak, I kind of, all right, okay, best value. It was a very unique draft for us and unique in a sense that we didn't overreach.
Right.
We always try to fill positions based on need, pick based on need, and that's where we ended up with the Arnett's of the world, the Cleveland Farrells of the world, and look what happened. So
Yeah.
I'm changing my mind. I'm good with Bowers, and let's go, baby.
I gotta completely agree. I don't know if I necessarily changed my mind. I mean, I was happy we got Bowers, but I didn't know if
Sure.
we. I didn't expect. Nobody expected us to get him at 13. I think we were all literally speechless for a few seconds there on the show on Thursday night, our live show. Um, I think there's facets to this. You see draft grades out there, and I think there's different stages to grade
Yeah.
this, and I'll give you my take on my grades because I think there's several grades to be handed out here. One, I'm gonna give a grade to Mark Davis, A+ for staying the fuck out of the way, just staying out of
100%.
the way. I'm gonna give an A+ to AP for letting the GMs do GM things. I'm sure he had some type of input, but I think
Of
this was
course.
Telesco's draft. I think this was his draft. This was his baby. It's in his lap and it's square on his shoulders. Telesco, I'm gonna give him a solid A. It didn't seem like it at first. It seemed a little what was that? But if you look back, and I gotta completely agree with what you say. Overall, the whole in its entirety, I think Telesco had a game plan. I think he found Bowers like, well, wait, this just fell in my lap. I'm gonna just go for it. But it wasn't a reach. It wasn't a reach as
Right.
far as the player. It may have been a reach as far as the position, if you will, but not as the player. And I think we got a beast player in Bowers. But then he backed that up with coming full circle with several different position players. Overall draft, as far as players go, I think I'll give it a solid planet in the ground B. With room
Yeah.
for improvement. With room for improvement, seeing what they do. I like the top 5 picks. I especially like the top 2 picks. I think they're going to add value to our team. I think they're day one starters, both of those at least. I think they're day one starters. But overall, I like it, and I was like you. I was stressing this. I was like, man, why am I stressing so hard? But at the end of
Right.
the day, when it was all said and done, I think we did really good. I haven't felt this good about the entirety of a draft in a long time.
No. Absolutely. No, I think a solid B, B minus for me, maybe. Let's see how it all pans out. But I agree. Number one, number two. Let's just keep on Bowers for a second. Now that I got to watch a lot more video, a lot more tape, I mean, he can play anywhere. I mean, both sides, receiver, slot. I mean, they could even put him in the backfield. I mean,
Sure,
who are we chasing in our division? We're chasing the Chiefs, right? Hey,
absolutely.
Omar's back. All
What's
right,
going
brother.
on?
Having technical difficulties, gentlemen, but hey, man,
All good.
I'm
We
trying to
got you.
get us in here, boss man. That's for sure.
Nah, we
Sure.
gotcha. No, I'll just wrap up real quick. I mean, yeah, seeing the tape on Bowers, I mean, wow. I mean, he's definitely can be utilized anywhere, including the backfields, maybe sometimes. Maybe use him
Sure.
as a fullback.
Yeah. Yeah. No, definitely. And my take on Bowers, you know, I, there was 2 things that stood out to me with Bowers. He's got the hands of the Waller that we like, not the current Waller, but the Bauer that we came to love. He's got those hands. But one thing that I really stood out to me when I watched his tape was that he engages that defender and he tries to get him off of him. And I dig that. You know, I had one of my main complaints about Waller was you touched him, he went down. Okay, that's fine. He was getting catches. So it was kind of compensating. But Bauer is willing to go to battle with you. And I really like that about him. I thought, you know, his highlight tape is excellent. Of course, everybody's highlight tape is excellent. But he's willing to engage that defender and get those extra couple yards. And do we need those extra couple yards? Hell yeah, we do. You know, extend the drive. Let's go. And especially knowing that we don't have a quarterback that necessarily can extend the drive. We'll see what happens if there's any changes, but that's key. You know, that's key for us.
Preach, man. I mean, it shocked us all when we went Bowers. It did. You know, I joked about it a little earlier because I saw him falling, you know, while we're like, hey, y'all, how would y'all like it? Arthur, everybody like, nope. You know what I mean? And that sentiment stuck even after we picked him. But right from the pick, you guys saw me surprised, but I was on a board. Saw it just so happened, like I say, coming up, looking at all the mock drafts, getting to see some film on Brock Bowers. And I was like, geez, this dude is a beast. I understood immediately why he was a top 10 pick. I mean, he was a guy you can put anywhere. This dude can run the ball. That's what I was like, dude. You know those 5 yards where we kept stalling on third down, little things like that?
31. Forget
about it. This dude, I mean, sticky hands, yards after contact, knows how to use his body. I think he's 6'3", almost 6'4", with 4.4 speed. I mean, he is the complete package. I mean, and then like I said, to use 2 tight end sets, if we can bring in that heavy personnel and use it often, you don't even have to consider it a 2 tight end set if you put this guy in the slot. You know what I mean? He's a slot receiver right now. Mayer is still in the tight end position.
Right. It almost makes me think of, not that he's a wide receiver, but remember how badass Renfro was in the slot and utilized in the slot? I mean, I picture that now, and the yak. Oh man.
Yes. Yeah. You know, you know, the other thing about Bauer, he's versatile. He can move around. He's got hands to, like you guys say, for a slot receiver. It's going to open up a little bit of playbook. We can run a 12 personnel with him. We can run a 22 personnel with him. We got Amir and Abdullah. You know, so that opens up a little bit of playbook. You know, for to switch things up. We have 3 tight ends. We have 3 good tight ends. You know, so I mean that opens up a playbook. So that's a big positive for me.
This kid, I mean, you're talking about, you know, we all was hoping cornerback or Fuaga, let's just specifically call that out.
Sure.
But Brock Bowers, he still takes the pressure off of a quarterback. Like I say, he's that hot read. You know what I mean? He is that hot read, and he can block. I know some people saying, he can't. No, Brock Bowers can block. You know, whether he improves on blocking, we know everything on any pick in this draft. All these kids have to improve their game to step up to the NFL level. So any holes in his game, I'm definitely going to say this kid is going to he's going to improve. He will definitely he's a day one starter. He's a day one starter for sure. And I don't
averaged 14.5 yards through 3 years at Georgia. 14.5 yards. That's not in the SEC. That's nothing to come on, man. That's solid. That's very solid.
Yeah. Hey, let's say what's up to the folks in the chat. What's up, Anna Diaz? What's up, Sonny Boyd, Boxing Jim, Raider Travis, my dog? What's going on? Protect the Shield is in the building. What's going on, boss man? Good to see you guys, man. I'm going to put the link in the chat so that folks can come up and yak with us. Let us know how you feel. I want to hear about the draft grade. And you know, I guess I would like to start there, and then we can kind of get into the nitty gritty. But I would love to hear you guys start off overall. I think we had to touch on that one pick because reactions. I think, you know what, from the internet, a lot of people have come around now to Brock Bowers. You know what I mean? Yeah. I felt alone Thursday night, but now my camp has tremendously grown. So I really feel good about that. That lets me know, hey, you know what? It's okay to have your feelings. We're all emotional. We love our team, but that's great that everybody was open-minded enough, did some research. It is not hard to see. When you start looking at Brock Bowers, it's not hard to see. This kid is a two-time Mackey Award winner. I don't think anyone is a two-time Mackey Award winning tight end. You know, I think he's the first. And I'm going to say, he's from the Bay. He's from Napa, but, you know, his dad looked like a Niner fan. But we're not going to talk about all that. His uncle, though,
you know they are.
That dude, his uncle who had the Raider flag up, I was trying to find that picture, but I couldn't. But I saw it, and I'm like, shit, I wish I would have grabbed it. So at least we know we got one Raider fan in the family, and I'm sure we're going to get a lot more. But let's go to your draft grades. You know, Scotty, I'm going to start with you. I want you to give us your overall draft grade, and then just kind of walk us through why, and then maybe, like I say, we'll hear Jerry's next two, and then mine, and then maybe we'll start picking at some individual players to support whichever way our draft grade went. So people in the chats do the same. Let me see your draft grades as well. Go for it, Scotty. I'm sorry.
Like I said, overall, I think we're a very firmly planted B, with room to improve depending on what these guys do. But again, like I said earlier at the top, I think there's levels to this. I think the players chosen is one grade, and the team direction is another grade. And I'll give Telesco a very solid A. He was opportunistic in getting Bowers. I think JPJ Jackson, I don't know which last name to call him, but Jackson Powers. I think, you know, he's a day one starter also. I got the top 5 picks, I think are very solid, with the top 2 being day one starters. Overall, I think we did really well. I haven't been this happy about a draft for quite a while. I didn't see any reaches, as Jerry mentioned earlier. I'm happy about it.
All right. Jerry?
Nah, absolutely. I mean, yeah, we touched on it really quickly before, but I'm going to go with, you know, a B minus. I'm going to go with B minus. And something I said before you jump back on was, one of my favorite perks of being a couch GM is I get to change my mind. And and you touched on it too. It's one of those things. I was feeling some type of way, you know, after that first round. I didn't go to sleep very well, but I will tell you, hold on a sec. I will tell you that just by seeing everyone's reaction on our Facebook, especially I put it on Arizona Raider Nation's Facebook, the consensus was 99% loved it. So I was like, let me check myself here a little bit. Let me watch the tape. He was the best value. We didn't reach. So overall, B minus, definitely. And let's turn that into an A, man. Let's go.
Sure.
All right.
I think that's I think that's a very good possibility.
And I say for me, my overall grade, and I've waffled a little bit this morning between B minus, B. And it's for me, it's for one reason, one pick. And it was for number 5. Not that I don't like the linebacker, you guys. Tommy Eichenberg, I believe that's Eichenberg or whatever. It's not that I don't like the pick. It's because Spencer Rattler was there. And here's my philosophy. You know, I talked backstage. I'll tell you guys, hey, Arthur was the only one who did not have any other quarterback. It was Jaden Daniels or bust, and I get that. And it sounds like I'm going to assume that Telesco probably had that same philosophy, but I don't. I don't think that any team that does not have a franchise quarterback has the luxury not to keep mining for gold. And like I say, right there, especially at pick 5, we picked Eichenberg, and then 2 picks later, finally, the next 7th best quarterback, and he was even higher on some people's board, went. And for me, that was just huge because, like I say, I get what we had, you know, that AOC is the guy that has to be beat out. Basically, AP has said that. But, okay, you know, he's a 4th round pick. we have Gardner Minshew. Minshew was a 6th-round pick. If you look at other non-first-round pick quarterbacks just around the league, I mean, one of the best, at least contract quarterbacks that I've seen, Kirk Cousins, this guy has had better contracts than a whole lot of people. He was a 4th-round pick. You look at Russell Wilson, won a Super Bowl for Seattle. He was a franchise quarterback there for a while, 3rd-round pick. I mean, look at Brock Purdy, 7th-round pick. I just don't think until you have a franchise quarterback that I don't think you have that luxury, man. So that's why I'm like, yeah, I think I got to give him a B-. It's just for that because I do love pretty much all our picks. I mean, I thought maybe on Glaze we may have reached, but I got it. I saw that, okay, he wants versatile players. He's looking at players that can go either, Glaze can play guard. Glaze has played left tackle and right tackle. He's going to push Munford. I mean, and Munford's just a 2-year guy himself. So what we saw from Munford last season could definitely improve and have some play. So I don't question any of the picks. I like them. I just say right there, that 5th-round pick to me should have been Rattler. Or if they didn't like Rattler, could have been someone else. I just didn't think we have the luxury until we have a legit franchise quarterback. I mean, because look, if you look at, and I'll pick on the 49ers just for a quick second. I mean, that draft philosophy, they had a guy that they spent a lot of money on and they were still drafting. You look at what the Patriots, and y'all know I ain't no Patriots fan, but they drafted 2 quarterbacks this draft. They got their guy at number 3, and then they got Milton at, I think in the 6th round, doubling down. Right. So that was my big thing. Like I say, y'all know I jumped right aboard Bauer. I was let down. Just like Scotty was, because we didn't get Jaden Daniels. We all wanted Jaden Daniels in the 1, and that was a bummer. Yes. I just think, though, I just don't think any GM in this league has the luxury to lean back and not mine for that quarterback position. And that's my whole B-. That's right there, the foundation for my grade of B-.
Now, after the fact, though, Omar, and I don't know anything about this guy, but we got what's his name's son, an undrafted free agent from out of South Alabama. So in hindsight, I mean, are you okay
Carter
with that?
Bradley?
Yeah, Carter Bradley.
Look at our quarterback room. We got a 4th-round pick, we got a 6th-round pick, and 2 undrafted free agents. I mean, that's why I gave him the B-, man. Like I say, it's no knock on Eichenberg. I just thought we could have found it. To me, it was just a lot of quarterback value at that 5th-round pick in this draft. So
I get it.
And I'll throw this little wrench in the mix there. You can't argue with what Aiden O'Connell did with nothing last year, though. I think he's got a lot of value. I think Gardner Minshew was an insurance policy. I've thought that from the start. I think he was an insurance policy because for Jaden Daniels. But we can't really argue with what Aiden O'Connell has done. And hopefully with an offseason, with an offense that's going to be running at least with him in mind, I think that some things some things can change, and we got a new regime behind him, so I think I'm going to see an improvement out of Aiden O'Connell. I'm not really sold that much on Gardner Minshew. I think he's a career backup, and I think he's a good career backup. Don't get me wrong. But I think Aiden O'Connell I think it's his job to lose. Definitely it's his job to lose. I don't know. I think we're okay. We're okay.
I think so.
Go ahead, Jerry.
Yeah, no, I think so. No, it's all good. I think so too. It's like, the one thing I want to see out of AOC, and, I agree that the B- is because we didn't draft a quarterback, but AOC, first of all, he's going to have to earn that captain badge. Second of all, he's going to have to get more fiery, man. I need to see some emotion out of him, some level-headed emotion, and just lead this team. If you can't do that, if you can't, get rid of the ball, if you can't get 3rd and 2, 3rd and 1, I'm sorry, but I'm already ready to see guard dog now. So, but let's see what AOC shows us. I mean, let's go.
Can I say this though? Does he have to be that guy to be able to get the job done? There's guys with different ways of dealing with emotion,
Oh yeah.
And I'm just playing devil's advocate, on what you said. again, I can't take away AOC's numbers. I can't take away what he did with what he had. And now that's why I say I expect an improvement, because now something's at least revolving around him. He's got a little bit of confidence. He knows NFL speed now. He knows more now than he did when he just got thrown into a Charger game for with nothing. So again, you're right. You would like to see the guy fired up. You would, but I don't discredit that, because he may not be that guy that's emotionally, in that sense.
And
again,
I don't think it's temperament. I don't think AOC's temperament is going to be what the factor that could beat out Guard Dog. Guard Dog is fiery. He's this and that. To me, if I'm AOC, I'm working on one thing, especially knowing I'm going to work out of a Luke Getsy offense. I'm worried about my feet. I know I'm going to need to be able to move my feet, plant and throw. Move my feet, plant and throw. If that kid develops any type of ability to move around in the pocket, move a little bit out of the pocket, set his feet and throw, Guard Dog is not going to beat him.
I agree. Totally.
I mean, to me, that is my biggest question mark, especially, like I say, going into this Luke Getsy offense. He wants quarterbacks that can move to just to get out of trouble, to extend the play a little bit. He don't have to go running for first downs. And like I say, this kid Bowers is definitely going to help him be able to do that. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Like I say, Gardner Minshew and AOC, they got the gift that keeps on giving. And I don't just say that about Brock Bowers. I'm going to say that even about the second round pick. I mean, we're going to see, we're looking at Incognito 2.0 here.
Yes, that's what I was thinking.
Nasty, fiery.
Almost looks like him.
Yeah. I was going to say, that comparison has been made a lot, and I hope he is Richie Incognito on the field. I hope he's not Richie Incognito off the field, but on the field.
Right.
Let's see what the chat's saying. The Severe Raider says, graded this draft a C. We went into this draft needing an upgrade at QB, CB, right tackle, right guard. Looks like we upgraded at only one of those positions. I kind of disagree, because I think I'm looking at what we got. We got Jack Jones back there. We got a couple of guys back there, and I'm not finna downplay Richardson. I know Richardson is probably more for special teams right off the back. I'm just saying, because unless this kid has a hell of a camp, and he could, we've seen fourth round picks come. I mean, wasn't Hobbs picked in the fourth round? And I mean, pretty much right off the back, Hobbs seemed to pick it up and became at least a productive player. But it was funny too, because we were talking about when Kansas City drafted Xavier, 4.2, and then we were like, yeah, fuck that. We got the 6'2" guy who's running a 4.3. I mean, this kid, he's another mean, nasty run support, great tackler. His coverage skills, he's got to develop, and he's really handsy from what I heard. Those, that's kind of gonna, but those are things that can be developed. You know what I mean? His size, it was almost a little Al Davis, but yet I also saw the versatility, because, hey, man, a short tackler that runs a 4.3 is great on special teams. You know what I mean? That is great. So I saw the versatility. I see where this guy could, hey, man, you never know. I mean, he could fight for a position in that secondary.
On the comment from Severe Raider, and this ain't an argument, but he's got an 86.4 PFF rating, and this guy Amik Robertson was what, 5'11"? This guy's 6'2". I mean, that's significant. That's quite significant. Amik Robertson made up with his play, his size, but this guy's 6'2". Hey, I'm not mad at that pick with Richardson.
I'm not either. I'm not either. Let's see. We got another draft grade. Setting You Straight says overall draft grade is a B+. There you go. All right. I like it. I just think I feel so strongly about not, like I say, that 5th round pick just for some reason just it rubbed me the wrong way with all those other quarterbacks sitting right there. And I even think when I was looking at one that was like best player available, it was like Spencer Rattler was right there the whole 5th round. And I'm like, come on, man, pull the trigger on this kid. Like I say, you gotta mine. And anyway, that's my philosophy. We don't have a franchise quarterback, so I'm like, we got to mine for one. So.
Do we not have one, or do we not know yet?
We don't have one. In my mind, either you do or you don't. There's no in between. Either you have a franchise quarterback or you don't. And like I say, there's too many. I mean, Dak Prescott, 4th round pick. You know what I mean? You got 2 starters that were, 2nd round picks. So there are, I mean, like I say, you can strike gold. You can. It's not going to be, it's not every pick, of course. It's far and in between. But in my mind, you never stop digging until you got one. So,
well, ultimately, at this point, still nobody knows whether they've struck gold yet. We were all pulling for Jaden Daniels. We don't know. We don't know if he's going to be the guy. And Max Crosby, he's the face of the Raiders right now.
Oh, yeah.
What round was he taking?
4th round, wasn't it 4th round pick as well?
I believe something like that.
Yeah.
So, so you don't know.
I just saw a lot of value there, but hold on, let's see here. I think Severe Raider says Delmer Glaze was a reach by at least 1 round, possibly 2 rounds. DeCameron Richardson was a reach, but I understand taking a chance on him because of his athleticism. He was a 4th round grade, speaking of Richardson. So, and like I say, I did mention that Glaze was a reach, but however, now this has been going around, and as you can see, for pass blockers, our guy JPJ is number 1 on here, but look who's number 6. Delmer Glaze is number 6. From what his knock, again, I think him and AOC might need to hang out and just work on footwork, because I heard that's where his issue is in it. It's not that he doesn't have fast feet. It's all about quickly setting. When that blocker, when you're going to block that defender, you got to get your feet right. Other than that, they blow you up. And being able to do that. Same thing I just said about AOC. If he can move around, quickly set his feet to throw, he's gonna be a damn good quarterback. And I think that's the same thing with Glaze. This kid has a 7-foot wingspan. He's got long arms. Right. He's got the physical. He's got everything he needs to be a good right tackle, except for being able to set his feet. And
and that's the same thing I read was about Glaze. I like the pick, but I read the same thing that he, they called him a dancing bear. But it's obvious, the Raiders addressed the offense with the first 2 picks, and then offensive line. I mean, with the line, clearly it was an offensive pick draft for us in the first few rounds. But I like Glaze there. He was there. I'm completely cool with it.
6'5", 315. That's a big boy.
Oh yeah, a big boy. The wingspan.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I'm saying. He's got everything to become a really good tackle in this league. Like I said, I think he'll get it. But you know what?
He's gonna have to earn it.
And maybe you guys disagree, but here's the pick that I did just love, and I don't even know. Maybe I don't understand the draft enough, and I don't mind saying that. Hell, that's why, just like you said, Jerry, this is why we're couch GMs, because how do you get a Jim Thorpe Award winner in the 7th round? I thought that, I mean, if you win that award, that means you're the best defensive back in college. And you go to the 7th round. I'm glad we got him, but I was like,
at Air Force, too.
Tremendous value right here in this pick.
Yeah. 23. Jim Thorpe Award, first team All-American, first team, second team All in 22. Maybe he's a diamond in the rough there.
I mean, and wait. And isn't this kid cousin? His cousin, I want to go to the family reunion. His cousin is Ed Reed.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, so you got bloodline, you got an award, and you're a 7th round pick. I'm like, man, I'm glad we picked him up. It was not a head scratcher. I was like, all right, I definitely see a tremendous amount of value in that pick. I mean, you got Morick, who's also a Thorpe winner. We picked him up, I think second or third round. I think he slid to the third round. He was definitely a second round pick, and he's done well for us. So I definitely like that pick, man. It was a good pick. You know what other pick I like too? And I'm sure, I think everybody really likes this pick. Hold on, where is this kid, man? I don't have a picture of him. Crap. But Dylan Laub, this running back, this kid caught over 200 receiving yards in one game. Talking about another safety net for these quarterbacks to catch some, to get some short yards and things like that. I was like, okay, 5'11", 206 pounds. I'm not mad
He's little. They're calling him a Danny Woodhead type, right? Did you guys read that?
Yeah, he had 1,200 yards in 2022, man.
Get those little feet moving.
He can run the ball, and I think he was split last year. It seemed like he had like almost 800 rushing yards last year, but then like 700 receiving yards last year. Like he was split right down the middle, which shows how versatile he is. So I'm like, dude, that's another good pickup.
Yeah, the running back room is definitely stacked. I mean, we forget we still have Madsen that we picked up, and then adding him as well, and we have Abdullah. I mean, we're all right at running back.
Yeah, I think we're good at running back.
Yep.
Yeah, to Omar's point, we're good at running back, especially since we picked up such a stud tight end. That's a big deal. That's a big deal.
And I talked about this pick because of how I felt right here in this fifth round, but this kid's a thumper. This linebacker here, like I say, I'm not mad at the player at all. Needs a little work in coverage, but this is definitely an AP. Like I said, we've got several, and Telesco mentioned that he was looking for AP type of players, looking for these guys that are tough and that grind it out. And Tommy is definitely that. You know what I mean? He's definitely going to grind out. He's a tackling machine, and I mean, you look at. We run a lot of 4-2-5, so that's why linebacker never came up as that big of a need, which fueled my rant earlier. But I mean, Divine Diablo has been great. We all know Spillane has just been outstanding. Luke Masterson has fell in, but like I said, and we still had that one kid from Florida. What is his name? Bernie, back there in the wings too. So. And all those guys are pretty solid, pretty solid.
We definitely got a little bit of depth in there in the entirety of the draft too. There's a few players that are for depth. Like I said, I think those first two are day one starters. But we did get some depth in there too.
Yep,
absolutely. No, isn't that refreshing to say? I mean, I started off the show that this draft was very unique, and some people might take that as a negative, but unique in a way that we didn't reach. We drafted most of the all valuable players that were available at that moment. It's like we didn't, when we drafted for need was the Cleveland Farrells, the Damian Arnett's, I could go on and on, like I said at the start of the show, but this draft was definitely unique. I mean, in a positive way.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I think Telesco, I think he showed his experience. I think he capitalized on Bowers, and I can't be mad at that. I can't be mad at that at all. Looking at the whole picture of the draft, and again, there's still free agency out there. Xavier Howard's still out there. Shoot, Gilmore. I'm not really happy with Gilmore, but he's still out there. But I think Xavier Howard might be a good addition in free agency. We'll see.
Let's see what we got here in the chats. The Black Plague says, I was looking at Eichenberg or Omar Spates. Glad we already got one of them. All righty.
Okay.
Let's see here. Any more? Talking about Glazer was only a real reach, but it had to be done based on the way the draft was going and the versatility. Yes, there was starting to be a run on tackles at that moment. So we did get it. I got that as well. Like I say, my biggest criticism is just that, like I say, I just think you got to do it. You got to keep mining for your quarterback as much as you can. And, I mean, look how these guys also get hurt, too. I mean, let's just think about it. Let's just go. If AOC starts, he gets hurt. Now, guard dog is up. Who backs him up?
Now,
we've seen a team at the worst moment go down to their third quarterback in the playoffs. So we know this can happen. And guess what? It can happen at the worst time. So, again, I won't keep ranting about it because I do love this draft. I love our first pick. You know, of course, to me, this would have been all different if we would have got Jaden Daniels. And I think everybody feels that way. And I'm going to stop beating that drum and let it go because now he plays for Washington. Oh, well, you know.
No, absolutely. We all agree on that. But the silver lining is, and we said it at the draft show, our 4-hour draft show. If you guys haven't checked that out, definitely go and check that out. We definitely had some fun. But the great part about not getting Jaden Daniels is look at all the draft equity we saved. I mean, I was willing to go up the farm and the next farm, but we didn't. And now we have plenty of drafts in the years to come.
And you make a good point there, Jerry. You make a good point there, Jerry, because if we're drafting like this, then okay, I'm glad we saved the draft capital. You know, I was the same. I think we all were. Let's go get Jaden, and I was ready to give up that draft capital. But if we're gonna draft like this, okay, all right, I'm good with that. I'm happy with that.
Yes.
I mean, if you look at how Telesco drafts, I'm going to say those first round picks are a little bit more valuable. If this is what we can expect, that we know you're probably going to pick up a solid player at 13, but then value drops to you and you grab that. If that's what we can expect, yeah, man, those two, that 25 number one and that 26 number one is looking pretty valuable right now. You know what I mean? But it's like I say, this is to me, and I'm gonna get off my little soapbox about mining for a damn quarterback. I'm gonna write him a letter. Damn it, dude! Don't let an opportunity pass you. You never know what you're gonna get, man. It's like a box of chocolates. Come on, don't make me go.
Let me say this to your point. Let me say this to your point, there, Omar. I also feel in this draft that we drafted around our quarterbacks that we have. If we weren't going to get our guy, then let me help him out. We got a tight end. Okay, let me help him out. I got players on the right side. If we're going to, everybody talks about, oh, well, it's just dink and dunk because everybody wants to see the 80-yard touchdown. I get that. But we know that doesn't win games. You know, in the long scheme of the whole game plan. But if we're going to dink and dunk, well, I think that's what we got. If we got a quarterback that doesn't move, that's what we got. We worked around that. So in that aspect, I think we did great. You know, we had to work with what we had. We knew we weren't going to get the quarterback. We knew that after pick number 2. So we went to plan B, you know, and I'm not mad at plan B. Plan B to me seems like a success.
But I don't think I think we didn't have the ability to dink and dunk. Remember when Hunter Renfrow all of a sudden just start dropping shit?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I think we have been able to do those intermediate throws and some of the deeper passes. It's been the short game, especially when you lose Jacobs. You lost Jacobs too, who was, hey, if you took out Jacobs, that kind of really left just Mayer. Remember, Mayer disappeared in a few games. Tight end situation gone. So I don't think that's all we're going to do. I think we're getting that back because we didn't have it.
Now we'll have that. Oh, I'm sorry. No, now we'll have that skinny and outside post on both sides. I mean,
yeah, exactly. That's what I was going to say. It opens up the rest of it.
Right, exactly. So now it's pick your poison. If you're just going to double Devontae and you're worried about Myers, okay. I mean, like I say, or it's 3rd and 3. What are we going to run it? Or are we, you know what I mean? Like I say, it just gives us hella options right now that we just, like I say, Bowers
coverage.
Right. He is going to be a matchup nightmare. He just is.
No,
Bowers is
and that's why I say that opened up the playbook for that, you know, that 12 personnel, that 22 personnel, that opened up that playbook, with with Bowers in particular. That opens that up, and there's so much more we can do now. We're versatile, and we fortified. I want to say that Patrick Graham said, "Hey guys, I got my end. Work on your end." Okay,
Right.
all right, okay,
Give
yeah.
me 6 more points.
Yeah, you gave me Wilkins.
What was I saying? 3 to 7
Yeah.
more points a game. How many
That's-
more games do we win if we
Yeah.
had that last season?
Right.
And
Yeah,
and so let's go set it. We need to our defense is way ahead of our offense. We need to lift the offense up a little bit. So those higher picks went to offense, which which is great. I mean, I get exactly what you're doing, So you're not going to fix the whole team in a draft, but you never know. Like I say, that's the one thing I do like about this draft, that I'm like, hey man, who in the later rounds is just going to, who is going to be the next Crosby in the later rounds? You know what I mean? Who's going to be the next Warren? So,
and at bare minimum, you got something at depth. If he's not that guy, but at bare minimum, you got some depth in there.
Oh, wait a minute. Someone says, Loyal to the Soil says, this has been the best draft pick since Gruden was coach in 1999. We went after depth. Hey, all right.
Yeah,
I like it. I like it. I cannot argue with that. Like I said, I only have one little argument, and that's it. And other than that, I love this. Let's see here.
That's the one I was going to tell you.
Terry Ogden, Bowers, Mayer, Law, Madison are going to open things up for Adams, Myers, and Tucker. Won't be able to stack the box against the run all the time. Exactly.
Single coverage.
Yeah.
I mean, like, if AOC can move his feet and set, dude, I'm telling you, April, wherever she is, she's we won't have to do that reaction show because certainly that's it, dude. You know what? AOC needs to go with Max Crosby. He needs to go and do some fight training. Boxers have to have good feet. They have to have good feet, especially in tight places. I mean, your opponent's right there to be able to move. And I'm seriously,
And I'm hopeful.
Footwork, get some lighter feet, and that kid is going to be amazing.
And I'm hopeful that these guys know that AOC knows that his footwork that his feet need work. Did he spend an off season working on that? I'm assuming he wants to get better. I'm assuming that's something that somebody's working with him on. So again, I can only see an improvement from AOC from what we saw last year. So I'm very hopeful about that. Gardner Minshew, he's a veteran. It's AOC's job to lose, but I'm hoping AOC is the guy. I just can't see that Gardner Minshew is our guy. I just don't see it.
No, I like it. And again, AOC was a rookie last year. To your point earlier, he was thrown in the mix and he handled it very well.
Yeah.
I just want to see him grab somebody by the freaking helmet. Let's go, dude. Somebody ran the wrong route. Let him know. And I get it. He was a rookie last year. It probably wasn't his place. That's what I'm looking for going into this year. That's what I want to see.
Yeah. I mean,
you want to see a little more Raider. I got
you. Exactly. 100%.
See a little more Raider. Yeah.
I think we definitely will. Hey, folks in the chat, man, don't forget, man, hit that like button. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Definitely appreciate you guys joining us. I did put the link in the chat for you to pull up and join us and let us know how you feel if you want to let us know how you feel. So
jump on in. Let's go. Let's hear about it.
Jump on in. Pull up.
Yeah.
I mean, we have gotten, to me, really better. Just looking at since the AP tenure began till now, you look at the offseason, what we did. I mean, our defensive line is going to be really good. And I think one thing that no one is factoring in is Tyree Wilson started with a bad toe, foot, whatever it was, injured. Now he has a complete offseason. I've just, read some of the things this guy is doing. I think, Wilkins had already said, hey, man, that happened to me. my first rookie year, and I'm going to help this kid. Everybody's still following in Mac's footsteps as he sets the tone. And I mean, like I said, knowing this, looking at what we just did in the draft, I mean, I'm just like, man, this team. So we had 8 wins. I'm looking at this draft and I'm like, okay, I'm looking at the draft, I'm looking at the offseason, and I'm like, okay, I think at least, yes, y'all know.
That's another podcast.
Come on. That's 4 or 5 more wins. I'm going to say we got 2 more wins with Wilkins, and we got 3 more wins with these draft picks.
I mean, I'm not even going to start to chew on that yet.
I'm not mad at that, but we are in the AFC West, and it's tough.
Yeah.
That's a big part of it to get to where we got to go. I think we absolutely do add wins. I think we would have added wins just because AP is at the helm to begin with. He's an X factor in this. That defense is definitely going to help, and Bowers is going to help. I gotta agree with that. I don't know how many wins. I hope we can get 11 solid, solid wins. We never know. We never know here.
Hey, one of my favorite podcasts is when we do the schedule prediction. I'll just bite my tongue. I'll just bite my tongue until that one because 10, 11, 12, 13.
Setting you straight says, Omar, you're my man, 100 grand. But you can't say Bowers was a great pick based on value, but then be mad that we didn't take QB when there was better value at linebacker. I hear you, and the only reason that I cry about this is just because I just think quarterback is one. We did get Jaden Daniels. He was the only one we all said we would want in the first round. Of course, I was playing around with mock drafts until I was blue in the face. Lots of different quarterbacks later. I was just mad because I'm just like, dude, we don't have the luxury yet to pass on a quarterback somewhere in the draft to just mine. Like I say, to me, I think it's a GM's job if you don't have a franchise quarterback to continually mine for that quarterback and to mine for depth. I mean, you know what I mean? Like I said, what if a lot of people are carrying 3 quarterbacks on their roster? We looked at what happened in the playoffs a couple of years ago, and all of a sudden you're down to the receiver that played a little quarterback. So yeah. I get it, though. I do get what you're saying. I just feel that way, like I say, about this draft and that pick because of there was no other quarterbacks taken for over 100 picks from 12 all the way to 150 or whatever that was. And we were 2 picks ahead of that. And like I say, that's no knock against Eichenberg. Eichenberg sounds like he is an AP stud and is going to do some good things for us. But suppose I already see the Spencer Rattler jokes that he's going to take out. He's going to beat out our old quarterback, Derek Carr. And I'm like, okay. So a lot of people feel he could be that good. Well, why couldn't we have thrown him in the mix? Anyway, I get it.
I personally
calling me out. Hell, that's what it's all about. So I appreciate you, sir. Keep them coming.
I personally would have rather have stuck with the game plan that we went with. I wasn't a big fan of Rattler. And again, we got some guy out of the guy out of South Alabama. But you're never we're not gonna know. We won't know because he never came to the team. So we'll see. And there's always next year. Next year's got some quarterbacks coming out too. This is gonna be the defining year for AOC. It's your time to shine, kid. Let's go. Either do it or don't.
100%.
You get
says I give our draft a solid B, and in my opinion, AOC is going to surprise everyone. Footwork.
Let's hope so.
I hope so. Absolutely, I hope so. I'd love to see AOC improve. Going back to your previous comment there, Omar, about Tyree Wilson, I think Tyree Wilson is going to have somewhat of a breakout year, and the reason why, just almost by default, you got Kuntz and you got Wilkins and you got Max. Who do you pay least attention to? Tyree. So Tyree, do your thing. He flashed very well at the last 4 games of the season. He looked really solid. I think he's going to have somewhat of a breakout season. Hopefully, he has more than that, but I think he's at least gonna get in the mix. His confidence will be up because he might be getting to the quarterback a little bit more, and confidence is everything. When you're especially if you're low man on the totem pole. I mean, there's Max, there's Wilkins, there's Kuntz, and then there's Tyree. And what do? You got to up your game. So
absolutely, and
great season.
Absolutely, I heard on Max Crosby's podcast, he's taking Tyree under his wing, and man, he said he's gonna rock it out this year. So, can you imagine that D line? I mean, what are quarterbacks gonna do?
No.
I mean,
and
wow, our secondary. No,
yeah,
our secondary's loving this. I mean, if those guys can get the pressure and the hurries, oh man, let's go.
Yeah,
I mean, oh wait a minute, my guy Rated Travis, 17-0 NFL upset. I love it. Tom talking 3-year build for championship. We built now. I love that. I love it.
To your point, Travis, I think we took one huge step forward to getting to where we got to go. I think it was a huge step with this draft.
No, I mean, after Saturday evening, I'm sitting back and I'm like, man, I'm looking through some of these picks and I just was not surprised. Like I say, some of these guys, I'm like, wow, to get a cornerback 4'3", not afraid of contact. You know what I mean? Like this kid Richardson will come up and support the run all day long. And I'm like having a guy with 4'3" speed, another 4'3" speed guy in special teams. I mean, we got good kicker, we got good punter, and now you have fast gunner or whatever. My goodness.
You talk about 4'3" speed. You got these guys out here now, these wide receivers out there, these tall, lanky dudes coming out, and they're running 4'2". 4'3" is fast as hell at that position. That's fast. You're talking about a 1/10 of a second over a dude that's a burner. Come on, man. That's fast as hell.
Right. And with our D line, you're gonna need those fast receivers because these guys are not gonna allow anybody to hold that ball very long. I mean, Mahomes better really start exercising that little left hand toss he's done every now and then because he's gonna need that. Because
and then the guy that we got, he's what's the safety guy that we got? Anyways, him, Jack Jones, these guys.
Trey Taylor, isn't that what is
the other one? Didn't we get what was the quarterback's name? These guys. I seen the film.
Trey Taylor, who's the safety. We got Richardson, who's the cornerback, the 6'4'3". That's the cornerback. We also got another cornerback. What was his name that we picked? I think he was our last pick, MJ Devonshire. So he was our 7th round pick.
I saw the last. I saw the clip on the other guy. These guys and Jack Jones. These are ball hawks. You got Trayvon Merrick too. Come on, man. Yeah. And getting that pressure up there. Go ahead, Mahomes. Do that little bullshit little pass. Go ahead. But that's all you're gonna get. Maybe that's all you're gonna get because. Hey, we're coming after it. We're coming after it.
I don't think people also, when we're thinking about the cornerback position, and I haven't thought about it enough. I was reading a bit about it this morning. We all seen that 4-2-5 that we've done, which puts an extra DB out there that we run a lot. That also takes some pressure off of some DBs as well. You know what I mean? Because now you don't have as much ground to cover, especially in a zone. Or at least, let's just say we have faster players out there to cover that ground in a zone. So it does help one another. But I mean, I think this defense.
We didn't really get rid of too much of our defense in the offseason, did we? Other than Amik Robertson, we didn't get really too much rid of people that I can think of.
No.
So
I mean, right now they got Faison slided at the other side. They got Jack Jones who we picked up later in the season, and I mean, he looked like and we're not even counting the fact that you got a guy that came in the middle of the season and balled out for us, and now he's going to get a whole offseason.
Yeah.
We ain't even talking about how that can just elevate his play. And, like I say, Faison has not been too bad. He's not been bad. He's still a young guy who's developing. We also have, who's the other DV that we just picked up last year? No. That's the safety. I'm talking about just the cornerback. He's a shorter guy, but he's fast as well. So,
and here's the thing for that defense, though. There ain't no buying into Patrick Graham. He's proven. He's proven. Right. So to add to that, that's huge, man. That's huge.
Hey, guys, we got a special guest joining us. My guy, your guy as well, Squid. What's going on, Squid?
What up? Oh, shit, where'd it go? Hold on. I'm messing around with the thing. I can't find it. 1 second. Shit.
I hate when that happens.
Yeah, I'm over. All right, cool. Hey, so I know I was on and off watching on draft day, and I know I saw you bits and pieces, Omar. You were getting blasted for the fucking Brock Bowers pick.
Oh yeah, dude. I was the Lone Ranger on that shit.
I was trying to chip in as I could, but I was moving around at my buddy's place, and as soon as the pieces fell out, I knew it was going that way. I just had a gut feeling out there. We're gonna Raider. By far, he was the best player available at that spot. Like, it wasn't even close to me. I get it. It wasn't the fancy pick, but the dude has fucking gold jacket material at the end of his career. If he lives up to his hype, like, that's how good he is. I did a little bit of Georgia football watching because some of my friends are Georgia football fans, and the dude's a fucking freak.
Yeah.
And people were saying he's not an AP pick. I'm like, how could he not be an AP pick? Hard worker, high energy, high motor.
Oh.
Yeah. No? Like, he's the definition of an AP player. Yeah. I know you guys are talking about
right. And that's no knock on Devontae or anyone else. It's just his style of play, man. I saw some clips on the kid. He is not afraid of contact. He's going to get some tough yards, and just because he does so much, man, it's going to be pretty.
I think that they put up a crazy stat about him having the most yards after the catch over everybody taken in his draft. There's some elite receivers in this draft, potentials, and he had more yards after the catch than all of them.
He averaged 14 and a half over his 3 seasons at Georgia. That's solid. That's real good.
Absolutely.
It's just insane to me. I'm excited. I'm not a draft specialist. I know what I'm not good at. I listen to all of you that watch a little bit more than I do and break it down, and I'm just hearing good things about this draft. Apparently the Chargers had a really good draft too, unfortunately, but whatever. It's just exciting.
Yeah, it is exciting, and like I say, and in hindsight, with everything in its totality, I'm glad that Telesco was opportunistic and picked up Bowers. Now looking back at it, of course, it was a surprise. Nobody hated the player at all. And Omar's right. He is a top 10 player to be picked, but it was so quarterback heavy that he fell in our lap, and Telesco took the opportunity. Okay, ride with it.
It is. Just seeing all the other pieces. Yep. Say again.
The guys in the chat was Jacorian Bennett. That's who I was trying to think of, y'all. That cornerback that we picked. He's fast. You know what I mean? So he's going to be fighting for that slot spot that we lost.
With the Meek.
In the offseason. So from a Meek, Robertson, I think. But I think this kid Richardson, man, I'm like, man, I like tough cornerbacks that can support the run and tough receivers that support the run as well, blocking. I love them. You know what I mean? So I'm hoping for big things. I hope. Bowers, JPJ, them two are not going to be a surprise. I think they're going to be as advertised. They're going to come in and start, but I hope Richardson is the surprise out of this group, because if he is that surprise in our defense, dude, it's going to be insane. It just is.
The one player that I've been looking at and interesting to me is the Trey Taylor, the 7th round pick, best DB in college football, and we took him in the 7th.
Right?
What? Like,
right?
I get it. So looking at academy player, like I mean, I'm not gonna call him a vet because I'm sorry, I am in, and congratulations, sir, you went to school. Like, whatever. I'm gonna give you a little bit of shit there, but that's just because anyways, I'm gonna regress that. But I get it. Academy players tend to be a little bit different, but still, to be voted the best defensive back, and we took him in the 7th.
Right? Shocker.
That's just not an award they give to anybody. We have the other winner on our team right now with Morrig. Like, I'm really curious as to how we're going to use him. Safety isn't a position I wasn't too concerned about. I like Morrig. I think I saw it develop more. What was it, year 3 for him last year?
Mm-hmm.
So quite a bit from him growing. Second year was kind of rough, but I think last year was a bounce back year. So now how we're going to use Trey Taylor, I'm excited. But then again, I'm always excited. Like it's, I think Omar tends to be the positive one, and I'm right there with you. It's tiring. I get it, but the pieces fell out pretty good for us.
I think
you guys are talking about. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, and I think Trey Taylor is going to. I think Marcus Epps, when we brought him in, it did wonders for Morrig. You know what I mean? He's a leader back there. And, I mean, he's a good safety. And he's a great veteran presence for us. And I think Trey Taylor is going to learn off of him. And you're having 2 Thorpe winners back there. I mean, come on, man. Like I say, finding him in the 7th round, I was just like, wow, really? I mean, I didn't hear too much about him, until then. But like I say, in my mind, when you're the best DB and you slide to the 7th, I mean, this was a big offensive draft, which is why we saw, only only 7 defensive players picked in the 1st round or something like that. And then all of a sudden, you see a few runs on, here and there. But, it just kind of speaks to the way this draft went, man. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, and part of what
the linebacker that we picked out of
Eichenberg, yeah, they say he's an AP guy. Everybody I've seen that posted anything about this dude, high motor, high tackler, you know what I mean? He's got to learn how to cover some tight ends, but I think he'll get there.
And that goes to why I like the Bauer pick so much. I was scared that San Diego was going to fucking take Bowers. When he was on the board, I was like, fuck, they're going to pick him up. Another tight end we can't cover. Like, adding addition by subtraction. Like, we didn't give them they didn't take it. I get it, Joe Dahl's a beast, but I'm just glad he's not a Charger. Like, I didn't want to have to deal with him and Kelsey in the same division. Like, we've gone through this in the past. Like, and I'm with you guys.
We might have the rebuttal to Kelsey there.
Yep.
Let's hope so, man, for sure.
Yeah.
Myers is still there. Like, it's crazy to me that the past 3 years we have the number 1 and number 2 college tight ends on the same team.
Yep. And
like,
if you look, Bowers was number 1 last year, just didn't come out. This kid was the top receiver in the last 3 years in college. So if he would have came out last year, he would have been the first tight end pick. I mean,
the other thing about Bowers is he's a winner, man. He won the championship 2 times already too. He's a winner. He's got a winning mentality, and that's huge.
Mm-hmm.
His family, though, that video when they selected him was not happy. I mean, I'm not from the Bay. I don't have that rivalry, but you could feel it in the room. The uncle in the back was fucking hyped, but
the dad was not happy.
They'll come around.
You could see it in his face. I'm glad I'd ask him that question, but again, I'm just a fan. I like poking the bear. Like, so how do you really feel that your son's a Raider and you're a Niner fan? You guys are from NorCal. Like, I'm not gonna call Napa the Bay, but you could see it. He ain't gotta lie to us.
We just got invited to some of these tailgates. He'll be all right.
Yeah.
All right.
How are those tailgates in the past couple of years? I haven't been there. I know every year I see him growing, but
last year was legit. It's growing. It's getting better. The vibe, especially after the AP takeover, the vibe was just legit out there in J-Lot.
Yeah, the vibe did change. AP took over. It's not anywhere near Oakland or LA, but it's they're trying to. It looks like we're trying to move that way, but yeah, all right.
They're what, a row and a half now, 2 rows now?
They're 2 rows now. I saw
2 rows now
here.
Okay. Hey, when I went, it was like the solid row, and this is 2 years back against Miami. I was there, so it's been a minute. But I've talked to people and told them, I mean, I get it. You're never gonna duplicate Oakland, but you got the people that have been there in J-Lot. Like, they're gonna make it Vegas. It's not
They're
gonna be
doing their
Oakland. Yeah, exactly. Like, set your realistic expectation. I'm excited for this year. I'm hoping to catch a game or two. We'll see.
Oh yeah, it's
Work schedule dictates everything, but
Definitely.
it definitely makes the season a lot more interesting. I mean, come on, we're gonna be fans regardless, but a good off season though. I mean, I'm optimistic, but now I'm hella optimistic.
It's been unique.
And I'm still looking forward to this quarterback battle. I mean, that's going to be, to me, the next big news outside of course, the schedule release in May. But I can't.
That's when we get the schedule released in May.
Yeah, the schedule release will come out in May, so then I can start planning the season.
Yep.
And, but hearing about these camp battles, man, going into training camp, you know.
Where do you think we go?
Will Glaze push Munford? I mean, to me, that I'm looking forward to hearing that. You know what I mean? Because you know that's going to be a camp battle. We brought in that one guy who from the Bears. I think is it Whitehead?
Yeah, Whitehead.
Guard. He's done. He's not going to be JB. He's done. I mean, we brought him. He's going to be hopefully he's going to be a decent backup, but. I mean,
we'll see because I mean that's Getsy's boy. Getsy knows him, so
yeah. But I think this kid, dude, he got me fired up with his little video and his little. I was like, oh yeah, this kid, he's gonna come in and he's gonna kick ass.
Whitehair's
the difference.
Whitehair's a Pro Bowler. Whitehair's a Pro Bowler.
I know but he's long in the tooth. He's on the decline, and now you got this little mean kid coming in, just hungry.
Again,
a good battle.
Again, that's a good problem to have because at bare minimum you have depth.
Oh yeah. Let's see.
You can feel the difference with
who will be in Vegas for the schedule release, working on doing a live show on location. So. Hey, stay tuned for more on that. Let us know who's going to be in Vegas. So,
who do you guys have a starting QB1?
I'm sorry?
Day one.
Quarterback?
Who do you guys have QB1? First game of the season.
I have Aiden O'Connell.
Yeah, I mean, Aiden O'Connell, it's his to lose. I'm not mad at Minshew. We'll see. But let's see what AOC can do. Let's go.
I hope it's AOC. I mean, just for what that would imply, I hope it's AOC. So
I mean, why would you put Minshew? Because is Minshew the face? Is he the guy? We know that he's a career backup. I mean, he may work for next year. But we know that's not. I can't see an extension coming or something like that. I don't see it. So why not ride with AOC and have him get in there and get lumped up if he's going to get lumped up?
I agree.
And let him grow.
I agree, definitely. Like I said, it's his to lose. But I'm not mad at Minshew being there to step in. It looks like this is the right fit for him. So if AOC has that second year drop that a lot of second-year players have, then Minshew's there to pick up the pieces, and he's ready to go. I mean, he's a proven winner, quarterback. Excuse me. He had better stats than Trevor Lawrence when they got Trevor Lawrence. So if AOC can't step up to the plate, or for some reason he loses a job, I feel okay with Minshew.
Well, I know, and I agree with you. I mean, it's not a bad problem to have. Okay, so now we go with Minshew. I just think looking down the road, I think you gotta give AOC a chance to get in there and get his reps in.
God forbid we go 0-2, 0-3. What do we do? So it's one of those things.
No, go ahead.
No, definitely, yeah. No, I feel you on that, Jerry.
Yeah.
I'm hoping we
I mean,
start. It's not even. I'm hoping we start. I'm hoping AOC. It's going to be a battle. Both of them. AOC. The thing with AOC is he's not vocal. Everybody wants this rah AP guy. That's not who. From what we've seen, granted he was a rookie last year, but he just doesn't come off his character as that type of person. Devontae's not like that either. He's not a in your face. Like he just performs.
yeah.
So I'm hoping that that's who AOC is that silent, like, hey, let's go out there, let's do your job. But I need to see more from AOC. Yeah. And again, that's absolutely, everybody's got different leadership styles. Like there's nothing wrong with that at all. As long as the one Devontae liked AOC, and that says a lot. Hall of Fame receiver saying that, like, Devontae came out, and granted, you're going to support your QB, but I'm hoping AOC starts, which means he won the battle over Minshew, and we know that Minshew is a competitor.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
The kid needs to move out of the goddamn pocket. That's what I think all of our biggest concerns with
That's
AOC.
That
He don't got to change his
Squid, you're right.
personality. He just got to
Nope.
move them feet.
And most importantly, he needs to just win, baby. That's it.
His cement for feet worry me. His pocket presence is a little concerning, but the kid's got a deep ball, pretty deep ball. Like if he can figure that out, and again, like you guys have been saying, he has an offseason to learn, an offseason to figure out a whole playbook, an actual playbook that's tailored for him or potentially him. Like I don't need a raw quarterback.
You're making a good point there, Squid, because like I said, again, with the addition of Bowers, that opens up the playbook a little bit for different schemes. And Devontae, of course, he's going to back his quarter. What else is he going to say? Yeah. But at the same time, AOC backed that up with getting to work in those last few games under AP. He backed it. He backed it up. He didn't throw any interceptions in the last 4 games. Come on now. Come on, you can't take that away from that kid, So, I think we're all making very valid points, and I think we're all hoping that AOC did that work did some work on his footwork and improved everything overall.
Yep.
And I just see it hard not to do that with AP. It starts a lot, and I go back to a lot of the chemistry and building that foundation of who you are, which people question about AP or whatever, and what does he really have? But the energy, the type of guys that he wants with the Max Crosby's, your Wilkins, like those type of hungry go get it guys. I've heard Max talk about AOC like that and his energy, which like competitiveness, again, not something to be taken lightly. Everybody knows Max is one of the hardest. We have probably the hardest working day linemen in the league on the same side of the field. That's only going to make he's going to be bull rushed by them at practice.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, does every single quarterback say, "Fuck, man, my defense is doing the job. I got to step up my game and put some points on the board because they're doing their." Does that light a fire? Absolutely, I agree with that.
Setting you straight says, "I love AOC, but an NFL QB has to have mobility. Mobility is instinctual, and AOC doesn't have those instincts. Guard dog can move and should start the season." I've seen a lot of non-mobile quarterbacks win Super Bowls, man. So that's all. Not that they're not, not that they're not. Steve Young was one of the most mobile quarterbacks. He won a Super Bowl. There's been some. There's just been some without. So, like I said,
Trent Dilfer.
If AOC just can extend the play a little bit, that's it. You don't need to run for first down. Just extend it a little bit. You got enough help and now enough talent that those hot reads, man, you know what I mean? He's gonna have. Hey, in my mind, they might both struggle just reading through their progressions. Like, oh shit, where should I go?
Yeah, I think we got good problems here. Yeah, we got good problems.
Yeah. Hey, we just hit. Wait a minute. There we go. Oh shit, wrong one. Right. If they don't get him ready, I don't know what will. But off to something else. We just hit 3,300 subscribers, y'all. Thank you, Raider Nation. We definitely appreciate you, man. We're just awesome. We're just chipping away at it. All right, guys, we're at the end of our time, so I'll just go around. Just final. Wait, you know what, you guys? Let me start with Squid because Squid, I want to hear your overall draft grade and then just, your ending thoughts.
I think I'm just again reading everybody's analyzing. I think I'm at about a B. It was the thought. We're not used to this. We're used to the what the hell negative. So B plus. So I think that's where everybody's at. Like, damn, what the hell happened? We had a good draft.
You get an A plus for that comment, Squid.
Exactly. But so a couple events coming up. I know there's the kickoff May 11th here in Bakersfield down the street, and then I know my boss and those guys putting on Explosion at the Madeira Fairgrounds. I'll hopefully be at both those. I know for sure I'll be at kickoff. Got tickets for that, so try to catch the events that I can before work says I got to go. But
awesome. Jerry?
Hey, happy to be here. It's like I said, it's been a unique off season in the most positive way ever. B minus. I'm gonna go with that B minus just because I'm gonna hold true to that day one. I was feeling some type of way about Bowers, but I got to change my mind. So I'm gonna go solid B minus and take it from there. Man, let's get the schedule released. Let's get to the OTAs, mini camps, and let's just keep rocking, baby.
Scotty?
I'm holding at a solid B, and like I said, there's phases to this. I give the players an overall B, but I give the powers that be, I give them all A pluses. Telesco, Mark Davis, and AP, I give them A pluses for staying in their lane, letting Telesco do his job. I think Telesco did a pretty good job here. Player, I think we're going with B. I'm very optimistic that we did take a huge step forward into those playoff rounds with what we have. You got to get to the playoffs before you can get to the dance. The only other thing that I'd like to just throw out there, Monday Night Madness, the show we do on this channel. It starts at 6 p.m. Pacific time, 9 Eastern time. It's a very unique show. You get to jump on here like Squid did today. Give your analysis, give your take. Nobody's shamed for what they're talking about. Just let's talk about it. Mondays tomorrow, Monday Night Madness on this channel for Life Our Raiders Story. Let's see some of y'all come in. We're gonna have call-ins. We're gonna have guests. You can appear as a special guest. You can comment, and we'll try to get to everybody. It's been this is gonna be our third week. And the first 2 weeks were out of control. It was great. It was fun. It's very interactive. We try to get to everybody, but we've had a great problem where we couldn't get to everybody. But jump on in there and give us your thoughts and opinions.
Definitely. Yeah. We have and the Spicy Shield show, so make sure you guys check that out. We also have the Raiderette Roundtable, you guys. So man, stay tuned into the channel. For me, you guys, I'm gonna stick with my B minus here, but I haven't felt this good about a draft class in a long time.
Absolutely.
I see all these players making the team. They all have a chance. I even think we're gonna see some of these guys that could be some standouts. We already know, like I said, excluding the first two picks. Those dudes. Those are day one starters, and that's great that you can say that. You can come right out of that draft and say, hey, our first two picks are day one starters. You know what I mean? And then we do got some guys that can come in and battle for some positions and definitely will make the roster. So I'm excited about that. I'm going to stick to my guns that until we get a franchise quarterback, and this is no knock to AOC or Minshew, but you either are or you aren't. And until you're a franchise quarterback, we do need to mine for that position, which is the only reason why I gave us a B minus. Other than that, this draft would definitely be an A. An A plus would have been Jaden Daniels. So that's kind of my scale. But yeah. So next time, come back here. We'll probably be on right after the schedule release show so that we can definitely talk about the upcoming season and some of the matchups that we see coming on. You guys already know what my prediction is going to be. My prediction is going to be something. Oh yeah, lots of wins. I see lots of wins. But hey guys, we only go out one way and only one way. Red.